one of the things I want to talk to you about here is using effects to help increase the speed of your workflow and help you to design shapes that require much less work. So here, say, I've got these like really simple eyebrows, but I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm really thinking they could be curved or they could be a little bit more engaging. So what I can do is go to my effect menu, go to warp, and I can click on any of these. These all bring me to the same menu, but you have to make sure you're clicked on an object first. And I'm going to click arc to start out, and it remembers your last setting of what you used. Normally it should, if you're just using Illustrator for the first time, it'll start out with this at 0, this at 0, and you need to make sure that preview is checked. And now if I increase the bend, all right, cool. I can increase the bend going up or down. And right now it's going horizontal, but I could also have it go vertical, going out that way. I could distort it. Look at that, we can even get a triangle, almost a triangle out of that. We go and distort it that way. I'm gonna go back to horizontal, and I'm gonna increase the bend going this way. All right, cool. So there's one. And here is number 2. If I go to effect, warp, let's see what this looks like if I go to the flag. All right, this one's not bad. All right, cool. I'm into this. This, if you don't have any distortion, it'll keep it the same and equal on both sides. But I think in this case, distortion's kind of nice. And just with some really quick editing, we've got these shapes that are all together. Now, one thing you'll notice is the bounding box around these shapes does not match our shape that we created. And so what we've done is created a temporary adjustment. And I like to make that permanent. You'll see over here inside the appearance panel, we've added a warp with a flag effect. And if I actually open the appearance window, this is our sort of dummy window. If I go over to window and appearance, similar to the layer panel showing us different identities of our object, notice that I have the eyeball for warp and flag. If I turn that off and on, that allows me to see it with and without, and I could go back in and change this later on. You can do it that way, or if you want to make this shape permanent, and let's actually change the color of this layer. You see how the blue is blending into the background? So double click, come here, let's choose a green. All right, cool. Now we see that a little bit more easily. If I want to be able to match that shape, which when we get into later lessons about the pen tool, you'll see why. If I go to Object, Expand Appearance, and this helps to set the bounds of the object after you've applied an effect to match the object itself. And now we see that that is actually matching. The difference here is if I try and reshape or turn it, watch what happens when I turn it. Whoa. All right. Now it's gone like totally dastardly, right? It's going all the way down all over the place. But I want to keep that shape how it was, but be able to rotate it. And to do that, I go Object, Expand Appearance, and now when I rotate it, it'll maintain its integrity. And delete this. If I want to bring this one over here and reflect it, I could do one of two things. I could, that was not going to work. I can reflect it by right-clicking, transform, reflect, and I will go vertical, and I can preview it to see what it looks like. And if I need to make a copy, I could do it that way, but this one I've already just done, so I'm going to go okay. And now I've got this, and I might just have that down. So now it's got this little wavy thing. One of the other fun ones that you're able to use, and you can use any of them, it's really, search Google for the kind of effect that you are thinking about in your head. If you even have an idea of, you're like, oh, I want to zigzag it, or I want to create some noise, like those are things to start to look for on YouTube or Google, in addition to what I have here. But if I want to do something that's like a squiggly hairline or just like a sound wave or something, what I can do is go to my line segment tool and draw a simple line. and I'm holding shift to keep it straight. And notice that it has no definition to it, so I'm going to increase the stroke. Let's make sure it's selected, and let's give it a color that's not white. Let's go red. Increase the stroke weight. And now here, select it on my shape, and I go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. And this is going to give us some options. If I want this to change the size of the height of the zigs or zags, I will change the size. I can change the amount of ridges. And if I want to be smooth, so it's more ketchup-y, I can do that. I'm going to keep it a corner for right now, and I'm going to increase it so it's like that to the ridges, and then say OK. And now notice when I drag this down, or if I move this around, if I shrink this down, it's going to get tighter. Spread it out. It's going to go wider. This is where the stroke panel can come in to help. If I want slight curves on the outside, I can change the caps. So now the end caps are rounded. And if I want the corners to be rounded, I can change those to be round corners. Let's bring all of these down a little bit, using shift and the arrow key to just drag all of those down once I have them selected. So now, if I want to be able to edit the outside of the shape, I'm going to Object and Expand Appearance. And now there's a line running through this entire shape, which just makes it a little bit easier to manipulate. And so here we have the start of something more engaging than what we had before.